Hello, welcome to Artemis Oracle. My name is Tan. I'm your reader. Today I'm going to do a general energy check-in to see what's going on. I have tarot, I have my oracle cards, I have love messages so we can see what comes out. So I've combined two oracle decks together, so they're kind of hard to shuffle all at once. I mean, I have big hands. I should be able to handle a big deck. Some humor. So let's see. I'm gonna split it. Two. And see what comes out. I get 3 cards from this half, and then 3 cards from the second half. Okay, today is April 16, I believe. Oops, that's too many cards, Spirit. Okay. Lord, this. Let me see. Yes, it's the 17th. Wow. Okay. Today is the 17th. Oh, wow. Okay. Twin flame, mirroring shared feelings, reflection. Let me know in the comments section. Do you believe in twin flames? I have to do more research on what exactly that is. I hear so many things, but I think people should be able to label any of their relationships the way they see fit. Clinging, holding on, obsessing, spying. So kind of indicating some type of separation, or someone may be a what they call it, a first class clinger. That was in the Wedding Crashers, I think. Snake, lie, poison, fertility. You know, this has a negative connotation with snakes, but snakes are all about healing and restoration, growth, expansion, shedding old skin, evolution, you know, so sing. It's so funny, before I started this reading, I was singing because that helps me really prepare with centering and grounding myself. And I'm really into that song by Sydney Rose, We Hug Now. Though that song is about ending a friendship, like a friendship breakup. But I don't know, when I listen to it, I don't like the beginning part of the song, it sounds like a friendship breakup, but then when you get to like I guess the chorus, which is interesting the way they arranged the song, with the chorus being at the end of the song. So I'm just organizing these cards because they're but that song, it just I think that like the latter half of that song could really resonate with people who have been in a relationship, and you know, it seems like the person that they were with moved on easily, like they forgot about them, like they were unaffected by the end of the relationship and stuff. So I don't know, when I hear that part of the song, that's what I think of. It's like, and I really like that song though. Regardless, I've never had a friendship breakup. So the fact that I'm bringing that up, that could be what this could be. I mean, your twin flame doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. It could be someone that you really connected with, that you feel like it's your twin in some way. You mirror each other. It's like you see yourself in each other. You know, you share feelings, shared emotions, possibly shared experiences. So yeah, that could possibly be what this reading is about. So, but I have twin flames, clinging, and snake. The fact that I had to say that snake is about healing too, it's because, you know, like people always say the snake, negative. I want my readings to be both I want them to be negative. I want them to be neutral. You know, I don't want to be leaning towards negativity unless really negativity is really showing up. So, I mean, the fact that someone's clinging, that could indicate some type of toxicity in some way. So let's see what else comes out. Okay, we have silence, confusion, but confusion came out in the reverse. So I think someone is gaining some type of clarity about something. Before, if they were confused about something, they were uncertain, unsure, unclear, but I think now they're out of that phase. And since it came out under clinging, so they may be understanding that in the past they may have come off as being clinging or clingy. But if there's twin flames, there may have been that clinginess mirroring between the both of you. Okay, so we have stress in the reverse and suspicion. I feel like something is like, I think this is what I'm getting. I feel like someone, definitely there's some sort of break here. But from what I'm seeing, I think that there may have been something that was, you may have thought of as toxicity. And the fact that I had to clarify and say something about the snake, kind of defend the snake in a way, I think that's something that could be relevant to this reading. I feel like you or this other person may have had been looking at each other, may have been seeing some little toxic traits and stuff. But when you don't really deeply know each other, you know, you could surface level mirroring, you know. But if you don't know each other like very deeply, like, you know, each other's experiences, the pains, like, and how they have triggered you or have affected you in some way, or have even played a part in how you show up in a relationship, and it has in some ways conditioned you to how you show up in love. I feel like that there may be some clarity about that, and maybe some understanding. There will no longer be any confusion. I feel like with the suspicion and stress card, I think that somebody may have been in this dynamic who was stressed out because they were constantly suspicious. They were constantly paranoid about someone possibly being toxic, someone being negative, someone being dishonest, and not necessarily, I don't want to say necessarily, but I just did, someone who wasn't being completely transparent with them. Maybe they have been doing things, may have been seeming like they were hiding things, and someone may have been spying, trying to gain some information to, I guess, to confirm their suspicion. But I think that with the silence coming in, and then with confusion and suspicion, stress being in the reverse, it's like this break in contact, break in conversation, is allowing someone to get a better understanding of something. They possibly are understanding that someone has been deeply wounded and needs to heal, and heal any toxicity that exists within them. And it could be because of their behavior. They may have shown up as being toxic in behavior. They may not have, maybe they showed a good side to them, but also they saw the negative. But the negativity always comes from something. It stems from something. I'm not making excuses, because I'm not about excuses. I'm all about accountability. When I fuck up, I say I fucked up. I'm sorry. So I'm not giving anybody excuses, but there are explanations, and explanations allow us to be understanding of other people's plight, of other people's behaviors, and allows us to be compassionate with them. But we still have to hold up boundaries. We still have to let them know that their behavior is unacceptable and that we do not have to tolerate it. And I'm saying this because I have been toxic. I could admit to my toxicity. You know, I understand that everybody has toxic traits, and anybody who says that they don't, they're fucking lying to themselves. And that's a them issue. That's something they need to work out on their own by being a hermit, introspecting and stuff. But this is what I'm getting, you know. I'm getting defensive because I know, like, from people from, I guess, my past, or even growing up, when I've learned about the stuff that they had to deal with, that made me understand them more. And that was like, it explained so much to me, and about conditioning and how that could affect not only the person, but also how their relationships with other people, and also how it could carry on to different generations if it goes unchecked. You know, so that's why I think that's where my defensiveness comes from, because I did not grow up in the most healthiest environment, you know. But however, like I said, it's all about accountability. We are all accountable for our own actions. We have to hold ourselves accountable, because if we don't, someone else will. And those are the type of people we want in our lives. People who hold us accountable to our own bullshit, you know. So elusive. See, we don't want people in our lives that are going to be sugarcoating everything, who are going to be telling us what we want to hear. We want people who are going to tell us where we need to fix ourselves, where we need to heal. Because the people who are, what do you call them, the people that always are like, yeah, like they disagree with everything you say, even though it's wrong, You don't want those type of people in your life, because those are the type of people that don't challenge you to grow. They don't challenge you to heal and transform yourself. If anything, they're the ones that are the ones you don't want in your life, who will keep you where you are, where you see lack of growth, lack of progress. You'll be stuck because you'll be stuck with them, you know. And the people that hold you accountable are the people that hold themselves accountable too, hopefully, because we have people who don't, that they like to act like they're perfect and you're doing everything wrong, you're not meeting their expectation, and that's a different conversation. And I'm not a therapist, I cannot go into those types of diagnoses, because we already know what I'm leaning towards. But people who gaslight you, let's just put it that way. But I think that the toxicity that was in the relationship with the snake and suspicion, and then the stress, I think that there may have been some jealousy in the past, hostility, vigilance, someone who was being very paranoid, like I mentioned, and spying, and that caused some type of, it created a barrier, it created an interference, it became a third party. And I think that's where the toxicity is coming from. The snake, it's the insecurity, it's the paranoia, it's the jealousy, it's the arguments that may have ensued, the accusations that may have been made, the tensions after those arguments. You know, like a relationship could go through that so many times until it eventually loses the foundation and tower moments happen, you know. So let's see. So I don't know who you are in this dynamic, if this reading resonates with you, but this could be advice for the person, this could be advice for you. You could take this as it resonates to your situation. So let's get some advice cards. I possibly want to pull out some love messages too, just to, lighten up this thing. But if your situation was very toxic, where there was abuse, there was abuse of any kind, physical, emotional, verbal, then that is unacceptable. Okay, so let's see what advice does the collective who resonates with this reading, who may be dealing with the twin flame, who needs to heal, or maybe the twin flame person that needs to heal. I listen to readings and I'm like, damn, I'm the cross watcher in my own reading, Okay, what messages, what advice do you have? Okay, we have miracles, lighten up. Okay, bravery. You're being asked to make a tough decision that you've been putting off because of fear, which is understandable, but you do have the strength and bravery to make this decision, and you will feel so much lighter when you do. So some of you may be in this situation still, and you need to figure out exactly how you want to broach it. What the outcome do you wish to have? And it could possibly happen. But of course, you have to be brave enough to bring up this discussion. You have to be brave enough to even face your own demons. Look in the mirror and see where your flaws are, depending on how you fit in this situation, And if you are saying that there's nothing wrong with you, if there was something happening in the relationship, and I'm not talking about abuse, of any kind, I'm talking about we all play a part, There's some deep part of us, we all have a shadow side, I think that's the most important thing. We have to understand that we all have our shadow side. We have those dark thoughts, those little dark jokes that we make, those the dark humor, I'm a Scorpio. But I'm not going to say that's a personality trait, but I tend to have that. It's time. You're being asked to move forward toward a dream that you've been carrying in your heart. It's time to bring it out into the world. You're ready. It's time. But okay, let's take that out of the question. It's time for you to be brave. It's time for you to lighten up if you have been holding some type of burden, emotional burden, stress, suspicion, confusion, or this could be the advice for the other person. But if this is the other person, then it's time for you to kind of remove yourself from the situation. That's how you can remove the burden from yourself, remove the stress, the anxiety, the worry. That's the only way, because when you do that, you're going to see things are changing. I'm not saying the person's going to heal or they're going to be better, but it's a possibility if they're willing to put in the work for themselves. but we're going to be talking about you. If you do what you need to do, then you're going to be seeing some positive changes, and some of those changes will in turn create these little sparks, I would say. It's funny, there's like the little wand with the little stars. I feel like when you start making those changes, you're going to see little things that kind of give you a glimmer of hope for things to come, better things, happier things, things that are lighter, you know, lighter for you, that aren't heavy, that aren't stressful. It could possibly be the person, you know, you taking your energy out of the situation. It causes the person to realize, this is not going to resonate with everybody, so don't get your hopes up. I'm sorry I have to be like that, but it's not like that for everybody. Not everybody gets the fairy tale ending, and whatever the fairy tale is for you, you know. But that could be what happens. You know, you could have your fairy tale ending, but it may not be with this person. It could be with somebody completely different, someone who is more trusting, who is more open, who doesn't hide things from you, someone who is very clear about their intentions and doesn't confuse you in any way. You know, someone who will speak, who will be very communicative and honest and brave enough to express their self, you know. Like, let's turn this silence upside down, and then they're going to be very brave about breaking the silence, about sharing their past experiences, their pains and stuff like that. You know, that could possibly be happening. That can possibly happen, you know, but it's all a matter of what you do. You know, you have to do what's best for you. Sometimes I look at readings and I see people saying, "I want my toxic ex back." I understand. I understand, but you gotta think about the harm that you're causing yourself. Remember all the stress you experienced being with the person. It's not worth it. Your happiness should not be at the expense of instant gratification that this person possibly provided you. Okay? So I'm gonna leave the reading there. No, I want to get messages. It's going longer than I expected, so I'm sorry about that. But you know, not everybody watches the whole reading. So for the brave few that decide to stay, this is your bonus message. Let's see if this person, you know, just has some insecurities, fears that interfere with the relationship, maybe possible past experiences that kind of made them skittish and not made them like fearful of relationships or suspicious of anybody that they're in a relationship with because of past experiences. If they are, what messages would they have for the collective? What messages would they have for the collective? Let's see if we get more. Okay. I'm afraid you will forget about me, but I wouldn't blame you. I miss the feeling of your body on mine. You're all I ever hoped for. You're my dream person. And I'm taking time to find myself again. Okay? So I'm gonna leave the reading there. I hope this reading was helpful in some way. Maybe that I said something that you needed to hear, some confirmation, some advice, some clarification. Let me know in the comment section. Give this video a like if you resonated and you want to see more from me. Please subscribe. My name is Tan. I am your reader, and this is Artemis Oracle. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm wishing you a wonderful day ahead. Bye.